thanks. Yes, give thanks.
Give thanks to the new.
And that's another classic presentation by Sky High Media there. Sky High Media, of course, giving thanks for the New Year celebration, Jabads and the crew doing such works and giving us an insight of exactly what is taking place at the headquarters. Oh, give thanks to your presence as we glorify the light and the life given, the Holy One of creation. And give thanks for such light amongst us in flesh. Give thanks for such word amongst us in flesh as we continue to even celebrate this new beginning and this new year. It is a joy. Welcome into the nest, the Tiger's Nest. And of course, this is a special, one of those special editions of the shock of the hour when, you know, within the hour, you know, we are doing it for the audio and we are still doing it for the video. So it's one of those special presentations. What we're going to touch upon this evening, an interesting subject, as we always take the time to find something interesting to touch upon. And we usually like to talk about what people want to find out within the realms of our discussions. And ones have been saying that the right term for those of us who are members of the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress Church of True Divine Salvation is not Bobo Shanti, but Bobo Ashanti. And I've been hearing that for a long time. And I said, I think I would like to address that and to clarify that, at least from my perspective. And many ones have reasons, their own reason why they believe that, you know, we should not be called Bobo Shanti, because Ashanti is like a zinc fence jungle or something of the sort, or it's not an African tribe. It is the Ashanti that's the African tribe, etc., etc. But I will get to that in a moment. Just giving you a little update as it relates to the essay competition. Of course, you know, we are doing the essay competition this year, at least the Gregorian calendar year of 2021. We are doing our annual Priest Isaac's African History Month essay competition. We did an official statement that we put out on YouTube. That was an official statement as it relates to the competition, and I am inviting everyone who may not have taken the time to listen to that statement. It's right there on our YouTube channel, that you do not have that far to scroll down to find it. It may be 5 or 6 videos away from this one. And what we did in that statement really was to give the audience a good understanding of why this essay competition is done every year in the nation of Antigua and Barbuda, where we give gifts, specifically gifts similar to the tablet that we have here. I have here in my hand an Alcatel 1T10 tablet, and this has not been assigned to a specific prize or group as yet, as we are continuing the process of getting more prizes for the competition. Our aim this year was to get 2 laptops and a tablet for the 3 different sections that we have. If you are following us, you would know we have a junior section, we have an intermediate section, and we have a senior section as it relates to the essay competition. And we usually have a first, a second, and a third prize for each section. At least that's the essay competition when done to its full capacity. So that's like 9 prizes in all. And that is why we actually go out and especially within our community, amongst those who we consider stakeholders in the future, you know, of our community, basically. We speak of the youth as the future and the generation to come and all of that. Well, this is why this is done, you know, putting Afrocentricity in the hearts of our young ones is one of the best gifts that you could pass on. You're giving them their culture. You're giving them their history. You're giving them their heritage, something that is totally lacking in the Kari and Kilam. Kilam is an African god. Yeah, Kari and Kilam and the silly bus. You come off of that bus, you're silly, no joke. You see what I'm saying? So this is why it's a silly bus, because it's a curriculum for caterpillars, teaching them how to be worms, and that's the great tragedy that really has come across us with this educational system that has been forced down our throat like rotten food. So really, this is why we come now and do our best to interject into this with this extra curricular activity, meaning it's outside of the educational system. It's outside of the regular school package. What it is, really, we have a competition. We don't really like to compete and stuff neither, but at least this is the stage where we are. We're not the biggest fans of African History Month. Not that we have a problem with it at all. We really don't, to be honest. Yeah, in fact, we respect the what went into getting it recognized straight up. But since ones seem to be accepting it, at least in the area where I am, because we're doing international work, yes, but we're still concentrating in our neck of the woods too. And since those who have had nothing to do with Africa, as far as I can remember, they didn't even want to hear about Martin Luther King, not even Mandela. But it seems as if lately somehow they are gravitated towards some semblance of Afrocentricity. So we take the opportunity to utilize that month of February for the last 8 years. This is the 8th year, and we hold a competition where we offer gifts such as this. This is again an Alcatel 1T10 tablet, a very, very, very nice tablet, you know. I must say specifically that would be a first prize for any one of the sections. We actually should be getting 2 more tablets, which should be of that standard or higher in a few days, to be honest, really. So that will be like 3 tablets on that aspect of it. And we're giving it maybe about a week because it's our program. You see, you got to keep in mind, this is not sponsored by no big corporation. There ain't no big dollars backing this. And Mr. This and Mr. That, just tell me what you want, bring the check and write a number. No, none of that going on here. So even though, you know, we may even have had planned to launch it on a specific date, because it's not officially launched as yet, but I don't mean nothing. We ain't rushing because February almost done. We not into no February business. It could be March or April. It don't mean nothing. You understand. But we're gonna get it through in February. Don't worry. It's gonna be launched in February. But I'm just showing you that we ain't following nobody's rules. As if, well, yeah, you know, we gotta. It's almost no. You know, it's not as if this is government sponsored, as if the prizes are already on the table. You know, and you don't know at the end of the day, more than likely, we still go into our own and make sure that it's well advertised, well marketed, people participate, and whatever else has to be touched up, it got to be touched up, because this is for the benefit of the young ones, the younger generations, and obviously it would benefit us all. Yeah, we did a program just a few days ago. I'm sure you saw it when we were speaking of the whole concept of ethics and morality in the Akan tradition, and we will be speaking of the Akan this evening. Not because the program is entitled if it's Bobo Shanti or Bobo Ashanti. It's not no melee talking. We're going to be going into some rich history and get a real understanding of where this name or these names that we're trying to figure out which one is the right name comes from. So yeah, just letting you know. Of course, we have ones that have definitely already contributed to this initiative. Um, the Ubuntu movement in the Helena of the West in St. Lucia, the Honorable Goddess Empress Ethiopia, and the full Ubuntu movement. They have also a common board specifically to contribute towards the whole initiative. I'd like to also bless up brother Dwight Doherty as well, who have also put his hat in the ring to support the essay competition. And as I said, anyone out there, many of you who are listening, some of you have big businesses, and whether you have a business or not, whatever it is, as you could see, well, this, I did mention a few people that had contributed, but I don't have a list in front of me because, to be honest, this program is not for that. But of course, when it's all said and done, as those of you who follow us would know, we definitely, you know, in transparency, make you know all those who have contributed. It is only because some people say, well, I don't want nobody to know how much I gave, whatever the case is. It's well understood. It's I can't do what they don't want me to do. But this is something that is very transparent. It's not a profit-making event. This is not a business as such. This is about the upliftment of the youth, at least for the moment, in the society where I live in. It is not an international essay competition. It is something that we intend to be international in short order. You know, we've been doing it long enough that it can spread out by now, you know, and but it's something that we, you know, made sure that we got a grip on it to a certain degree. You see, the main reason why this had to come out is because the curriculum could not take in or entertain really any Afrocentricity inside of its halls or inside of its classrooms. That's really the reason why. We have written letters, man, for years. We've gone on a decade plus writing letters to ministers of education, prime ministers, so on and so on, as it relates to Afrocentricity in school. So we don't just talk it, eh? This ain't just a talk thing and talking and all these people on YouTube. Wait, YouTube wasn't even around when we writing letters, official letters, and, you know, further afield than just here, as it relates to our educational system. That's how serious we were, and still, we still are about the Afrocentricity within the schools. So since the schools ain't really taking it in, we decided to, well, work around the schools. That's why it's called an extracurricular activity. So basically, that is why the essay competition, and for other reasons, again, listen to the statement. That is why the essay competition was put together, and this is why we do this every year, and we collect gifts. This is what, you know, the children, when we go on the television, we have one tablet here and the other tablet here, and maybe a laptop on the table. Trust me, take it from me. They will begin to call. They will say, yes, I would like to do the essay competition, sir. What would I have to do? And I said, all you have to do is write a 300-word essay. What does African history what does African history mean to me? 300 words, and you bring it in here by this time, X, Y, Z. Okay, all right. What does African history mean to me? It don't really mean nothing to me. I don't know nothing about African history, but I want this. So because I want this, which is the tablet, I'm going to see what African history is all about. And then I'll write the 300-word essay and tell Mr. Priest what it means to me, because I want this, the tablet. That's basically what it is. Now, of course, again, I mean, it's all in the fun of learning too, to give a prize and to reward. But at the same time, this should be something that is just naturally within our culture. as it relates to Afrocentricity. So yes, so those who would desire to contribute to such an effort, as you know, this is not a channel or a medium where we ask for donations. You know that for a fact. We do not ask, but we do not ask for donations. You never hear us say, well, you know, if you want to contribute, we may say it because people say that we should, but that's not a part of our forte or our forerun. And if it's ever said, it's not more than 2-3 times. The only time that we ask for contributions is when we come around to our essay competition, especially locally. And the reason why, again, is because we believe, it's like a teaching moment. We honestly believe, especially in our society, not necessarily for you international, you know, onlookers, especially in this society, we believe that those who be talking and saying that, yeah, we need African history in the school, we need Afrocentricity here and there, but yet still they're not putting their money where their mouth is. Nah, that's not how it's done. So if you're talking, do something about it. So we have a program. All right, you ain't got a program. Fair enough. Assist that program. It's not as if it's a new program. It's been done now for 8 years. This is somebody everyone around here knows. I mean, come on. So and that's really what it is, straight up. You understand? So this is why we ask anyone within the whole society that wants to contribute, even those in the international community. We have some international family that has ever been with us on this move. We're very thankful for them as well. This is something that will definitely uplift our people. And this is getting bigger. Eh? This is what I'm trying to show you. This is getting bigger. This is going to be an international, as you could see how we do it, this is going to be an international affair in the future, the international essay competition. And we don't have to wait until February. We don't have to try to fit it in 28 days or whatever the case is, because the prize giving is usually in March. You know, we have prize giving too. Yeah, man, we does have prize giving. We ain't going to do it this year because of, you know, what's going on with Mr. COVID and Mrs. Corona. But we usually have a big prize giving ceremony. We have our local historians that come and speak. We have poets that come, and the Governor General we invite. Well, we invite all of them, but the Governor General usually comes. The Director of Education would come. You know, so the children would actually feel good and get their prizes, picture in the newspaper. Or so, well, picture in the newspaper. Let me think good. But whatever the case is, it is something spectacular. That is how we do it. So really, and don't be shy to emulate it and duplicate it, if you want to say, in your neighborhood. Yeah, man, it's something very good. It's very positive. An essay competition as it relates to Afrocentricity, and the best time to do it is African History Month, because that is when the people are thinking about that. You know, if you want any advice, I could even assist you. Sister Honorable Empress Ethiopia, again from the Ubuntu movement, had an essay competition a few months ago, and she actually inquired of me some advice, and I showed her you know, a few tips as it relates to such. You know, basically, so it's not a selfish thing. It's a serious thing. If we are serious about the education and the Afrocentricity mind frame of our youth, you know. Now I know I took some time to even speak about that, but it's an important thing, you know, not unless you're here for some kind of melee. It's an important thing, because this is not just about us, you know, man. This is about our children. Very, very, very important. This is not just about us. This is about the youths, definitely. All right. Now, what I'm going to speak about this evening, and of course, again, if you want to contribute, you know, it doesn't have to be financing, man. It doesn't have to be money. You could contribute a prize specifically. And one of the beauty of you contributing a prize is that the prize would be given in your name. That's the beauty now when it's finance, and that's why we like to show how many how much money people give, because, you know, we have a budget, you know, marketing, even advertising and everything. But you see, when you give a prize, your name gets attached to the prize. Well, we have a laptop here and it was donated by, and that there it goes. And we have a tablet here, it was donated by. This is a combination of donations that came together to pay for that aspect there. So it's a bit different, you understand? So you can feel free. You could donate another tablet, you could donate another laptop, whatever it is, towards the essay competition specifically. Don't worry, your name will be put in lights. Don't worry. Right here on the Mystic Vibration Shock of the Hour and on our local media, we buy space in the daily stuff there, the newspaper, where the names of our sponsors, names are, you know, so we're serious about that aspect of it. We don't play with that part of it. Let everybody understand who came on board to partake of it. So you could see it's something that we are encouraging more people to come on board and be a part of this initiative. This is what the rich and the well-to do. Yeah, well, we are rich and wealthy too, aren't we? Now, what I want to get into here, I want to, the Bobo Shanti. The Bobo Shanti order. Now, of course, you know, the official name being the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress Church of True Divine Salvation. Just for those who may not know, also known as the Bobo Shanti order. As I said, some will say, you know, it's not Bobo Shanti. Several years ago, Brother Sizzla Kalonji came out with an album, and the album was entitled Bobo Ashanti. And I think that also kind of gave it a little kick, with many people calling it Bobo Ashanti. Some people are actually quite cross with it, like say, no, my lord, it's Bobo Ashanti, you know, Bobo Ashanti, and literally stop you in speech and be, no, it's wrong. Okay, all right, fair enough. Some say that there's no tribe known as Ashanti, or Shanti, pardon me, but the tribe is Ashanti. All right. But is there a tribe known as Bobo Shanti, or Bobo Ashanti, or Bobo Shanti, whichever one? Is there a tribe, you know, together with that name specifically? Now, in my research, and of course, we know not everything, but in my research, I've never really come across any one single tribe by the name of Bobo Shanti or Bobo Ashanti. Is it that there is some level of us maybe guessing that Ashanti or Shanti is somewhat a shortened version of Ashanti? Because in reality, there's no real Ashanti neither. It's really Asante. But before we go that far, I want us to take a look, first of all, at the people. I'm speaking of the Asante people and the Bobo people, because there's a people known as the Bobo people. In fact, in the region of the Bobo people, there are still different levels of these Bobo people. And yes, the Bobo people within the western part of Africa, Mali specifically, you would really find them. But these Bobo people at the same time, when you check it out mystically, You have Bobo people even in Ethiopia. Now, I want to read some information for you there. Just give me a moment. Let me pick it up. And while I'm looking for that, as far as the essay competition, again, of course, you know, you can contact me via email. You do know that. Eh? Priest Isaac, Priest, ISAAC 27 at gmail.com. Okay, we have it here. Britannica. Let's go to some Britannica here. Or you could, if it's a contribution on the monetary level, you can use our Cash App, which is Aton Ra 2723. That's it, Aton Ra 2723, yeah. ATON RA 2723. Now the Bobo people. Let's check the Bobo people here. And of course, those who are checking the video, the Cash App link is in the description. Now the Bobo people, this is from Britannica. And it says, people of Burkina Faso, formerly known as the Upper Volta, who speak a language of the Gur branch of the Niger-Congo family. And just giving you a little quick rundown here, the Bobo people are a sedentary agricultural people growing such staples as millet and sorghum and a wide variety of other crops. Crop rotation and some irrigation are utilized, and small numbers of cattle and other animals are tended. Hunting, fishing, and gathering of wild plants provide additional food. The typical household comprises an extended family that dwells in a rectangular house with mud brick walls, a beaten earth roof, and frequently a defensive outer wall. Good. So basically, just giving you a rundown, you know, not forcing all that history down your throat, just letting you know that there's a people that is known as the Bobo people. They literally exist. They have their own tradition. They're well known for their masks. They're well known for their sculpture. They're well known for their different artifacts. In fact, let me just get something here. There's another nice article dealing with them that I would like to highlight for those who are interested. This one is coming from Africa.uima.uiowa. This is a website we actually share and utilize with our scholars, which we call them scholars, our students in the homeschool program that we do. I'm speaking of our international homeschool. Of course, our international homeschool is astronomy and Afrocentricity, which is African history and heritage. And from K to the second grade, that's our international homeschool program. This is one of the websites we utilize in our presentation dealing with the tribes of Africa. So the history, you see some of the artwork here, the sculpture here from the Bobo people. Types of art, mask, fashion from leaf, fiber, cloth, and wood are usually worn with leaf and fiber costume. The major content is the major context is men's initiation. Good. History. The Bobo have lived in the region for centuries. This is the same region of Mali, with some estimates dating back to 800 AD. It is generally believed that they moved into this area from the north. One of the primary reasons for this thinking is that they speak a language considered to be part of the Mande family, which originates to the north in Mali. Throughout the history of the region, other peoples like the Zara have also moved into the area, influencing the Bobo and sometimes being either partially or wholly absorbed into Bobo agricultural society. All right, so they have obviously an economy. This is a civilization. Eh? They have a political system here. We're speaking of the Bobo system. The creator god, a religion, eh? The creator god of the Bobo is Woro. The creator god of the Bobo is Woro, who is never physically represented and cannot be described in words. Woro is responsible for the ordering of all things in the world into pairs, interesting stuff, which must always remain balanced. However, man, through his everyday existence, is likely to upset this balance. Thus, the Bobo religious system involves restoring order through a series of offerings. Okay, now basically, you get a better understanding here of the Bobo people and knowing of their existence and where they are as it relates to us. And even at this time, you could, when you look at their masks, you could see something very similar to even the people of Benin. You see, there's basically a similarity within the so-called tribes, what we would like to call the ethnic groups of Africa. So you will see within the Bozos and the Bobo, even the names, and the Bobo has a strong similarity to the Dokans as well, as far as their outfits and the masks that they would wear as well. And it's very mystic. So where you would find them now, again, is within the ancient city of Mali. Burkina Faso, I'm saying Mali. I said Mali before, but you know, interestingly, I'm not wrong, because the other maps, you know, where we could show you where they actually are scattered abroad. In fact, the Bobo people, they're all in Angola, all in Ivory Coast and Ghana. So it's not as if they're just in Burkina Faso alone. And the same thing goes for a lot of tribes. So you do have a faction of them that you do find in Mali amongst the same Dogon people, really. But it is Burkina Faso, in reality, Burkina Faso, also known as the Upper Volta, that I wanted to highlight. So I mean, just for knowledge's sake, we're not trying to unravel nothing here, you know, we're just spitting out some knowledge just for your own, you know, knowledge, information. So the Bobo people, they are a people that you could identify, the Bobo Monday, and they have the Bobo, you speak of the Bobo thing, so the different Bobos there. And of course, even when we sat with the Honorable Priest Zebulon, we went into a lot of aspects concerning the Bobo. But what we more went into now, specifically when we sat with the Honorable Priest Zebulon, we spoke specifically of the Ashanti people. And you would hear the Honorable Priest speak of the people of the Akan. And these Akan people are where you get the Ashanti people, but it's more somewhat like a gathering together of. Now, what I want to do, I'm going to present something here for you. This is, let me get this straight. This is, we're getting this from the internet, and this is somewhat of an interview that was done at the Sword in Kumasi. Again, the interview that we did with the Honorable Priest Zebulon, he spoke about the sword in Kumasi. I'm sure you could recall that. And he spoke of this sword in Kumasi being stuck in the ground and could not be removed by no one. But what it was, yeah, it's like the same King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table and the sword in the stone and all of that stuff, Excalibur. But really, it was not put there to be removed, really. It was put there as a sign of the unity amongst the Ashanti people, or what we would call the Asante people. And that is at the hospital there in Kumasi. All right, so interesting. And that's at the same spot, by the way, where the golden stool came down. So we're going to take in a bit of an interview there. I'm actually going to bring it on the screen for those who would be seeing this on the video version. And what you'll be seeing here is the sister interviewing the brother that is, I think, the tour guide of the area there. And that is actually inside of the building that was built around it by the hospital. And the sword is actually within a circular wall that you will obviously see. So let us pull that up. All right, and this is officially coming from City TV. Okay, let's check this out.
Is that this sword was not planted here to show wonders or to throw a challenge to anyone, but it's here to let us know where the Asante Kingdom started, where the golden stool came from, and for the unity of the Asante Kingdom. The people who gathered here that day, I told you they were Akans. Those Akans who came here to form Asante Kingdom, not planted from powerful men on this. He was not able.
I don't want to lose track. Let's get this good now. What is happening here again? So the brother is giving the sister here a rundown of the history. As I said, this area here is where the sword is. You just saw the sword in the ground. That was planted there by the Asante king at the time to show the unity of the newly formed Asante people. And he was just explaining to her. In fact, let me give you a little of that. But he was explaining to her that, listen, man, many ones have come here. Even the great Muhammad Ali, this other boxer came and they tried to, you know, take it out from out of the ground. And it is not a Muslim thing. It's not to be removed. It was there as a symbol of the unity of our people. All right, so let's get a little more of that. And he's going to go straight into something that I want to highlight, but taking a bit of the story from the official tour guide here at the sword in Kumasi in Ghana. Hey, blessed love to all of those in Ghana. Eh? Blessed love to all of those in Ghana. Enough respect, you know. You know, I could imagine those who are listening in Ghana who know the story in depth, who grew up on this culture, what those of us like myself would have just read about and would have seen the sword and understand it, just like when I sit with the Honorable Priest Zebulane. Yeah, man, enough respect for those who are listening.
Good. So they tried to remove it. They dig around it. The sword was not showing up. So they brought a machine to pull the sword out with force. The sword became invisible. So they were scared. They decided to excavate the whole place so that wherever the sword will be, they'll get it out.
Yeah, the sword became invisible. He said they were trying to get the sword out and the sword refused to move.
They did so. The following day, the sword was there as if nothing has happened to the place. So they were telling people about the mystery going on here. When the people hear this, they'll come and look at the sword, listen to them. They never believe them. They come here and they try to pull it with their physical strength. Many people has been here, including the former heavyweight champion, Muhammad Ali. The late boxer was in Ghana 1964. He came to try his hands on this. He was not able to bring it out. This made a Ghanaian boxer called Jack Toller went for voodoos or juju, or yale or gri or nyamijolo from powerful men, so that
you hear what he's saying. So this other boxer now, not Muhammad Ali, and next one now after Muhammad Ali, the next powerful boxer too, went for some, as he said, voodoo, juju, some other word he called, and obviously try to work some magic. You know, he excavator or whatever, and so come in and dig up crane and so and try to move the sword, and the sword refused to move.
Many people has been here, including the former heavyweight champion Muhammad Ali. The late boxer was in Ghana 1964. He came to try his hands on this. He was not able to bring it out. This made a Ghanaian boxer called Jack Tola went for voodoos or juju or yale yale or gri or nyamijolo from powerful men so that he can become powerful to bring the sword out. He came and spent weeks here. He was not able to do this. So all what I'm trying to tell you is that this sword was not planted here to show wonders or to throw a challenge to anyone, but it's here to let us know where the Asante kingdom started, where the golden stool came from, and for the unity of the Asante kingdom.
Yep.
The people who gathered here that day.
Hold on. So you hear that? That's what the sword is for. Where the golden stool came down and where the Asante kingdom. You notice he's not saying Ashanti because it's not Ashanti. It's Asante. Where the Asante kingdom start from. Okay, listen to what he's going to say now.
It's here to let us know where the Asante kingdom started, where the golden stool came from, and for the unity of the Asante kingdom. The people who gathered here that day, I told you they were Akans. Those Akans who came here to form this group became Asantes. They became Asantes because of the theme of their meeting here. The theme of the meeting here was because of war. The people gathered here because of war, because they wanted to come together to wage war against the intrastate.
Okay. Listen, Bobo Shanti. So he's saying these people were Akan people. Honorable Priest Zebulon teach us this. And interestingly, Priest Zebulon is a man that King Emmanuel has been talking about from since back a while. He telling them that a man going to come from Africa. King Emmanuel have a mystic thing about this a man going to come thinking. Yeah, man, he does have that, and doctors shall come amongst us. A man that can read the stars shall come amongst us. So they say that from that time, back a while, Priest Zebulon come during the time, for those who know the Bobo Shanti history, of course, during the time of Bobo Shanti Hill, 9 miles Bull Bay, 10 miles Bull Bay, I should say, 9 miles out of the city, you know, Marut Bull, yeah, according to the Buddha prophecy, that Buddha program we did a few evenings ago, that was very nice too. I must say, on the shock of the hour specifically, exclusively, that was an exclusive shock of the hour for sure. You know, but mystically, yeah. So speaking of Priest Zebulon was spoken of years, maybe decades before he showed up. And he said, now when he came to the door, them time in a turban down and robe down yet, you know. I think he had on a cap, a little cap and Rastafari, yes, but a little scene and yeah, man, what's going on here? And they said when he walked through the gate, King Emmanuel said, yeah, the man that I tell you all about all the time, he just come. And I think anyone could attest that if you know the Honorable Priest Zebulon, that within him, you know, there's a lot of anciency just packed up there in that frame. A lot of agency packed up in that frame, and history and knowledge and Afrocentricity. He knows the Bobo properly. He knows the Asante history properly. That same man that King Emmanuel said. Gonna come amongst us to teach us some mystic. Even when the Black Christ make a move, it is he that dealt with the physical structure in the ancient rites of them same people here we talking about, the Bobo and the Asante. But is it really Asante? Because you see, this is what I'm trying to show once. People would tell you, well, no, it's not Bobo Shanti. Is what? It's Bobo Ashanti. Who names so? You make up that? How are you so sure? Where's the King Emmanuel? Wrong? Not just asking them. You know, I just ask it. Or maybe you don't fully understand what he was saying. I see that a lot, a lot of time, you know, we don't fully understand. So we work off of our own understanding. People say the same thing about me. Or you don't know why he made man eat fish. Maybe I don't know. I explained it to you. Well, you just have to leave it at that. I don't have a problem with that. But he, the same man, said that we have to stop eating fish. I mean, time is moving on. Yeah. So who is digging the head in the sand here? No, I'm serious. So the same thing is within this now. The name. Because if we're so strict then, it should not be Bobo. If we're strict, if we're saying, well, listen, the people, the name is not Shanti. The name is Ashanti. Who says them people he talking about? You have Shanti. You have Fanti. Somebody may say it's not Fanti, it's Shanti. Somebody will tell you that Igbo is Igbo. You hear, listen to me good, eh? You see, that's what happens when, that's why the emperor say you gotta seek for secular knowledge, study. Study, man, study. Who say he talking about the Ashanti people? You have different peoples in Africa with similar names, just a letter different, with similar names. Just go through the list. Similar names, it's all over. But if we're to take that point, that yeah, it's not Shanti, it's Ashanti. Okay, well, it's not Ashanti neither. As I said, it's Asante. But here it is, it's not Asante neither. Huh? Okay. If we go in, let's go all the way. Because as this brother is saying now, the Asante became the Asante from the Akan. I'm not saying it's Akan. I'm not saying it's Bobo Akan. Listen to me good. Bobo Akan. Tell you. No. But he's saying when the Akan came together, and history would say, with a few other minor tribes, history says that. That's where you, so it's not, well, some people version, the versions are just, well, versions, they differ, basically. But he's showing you they came together for war. This is his history. They came together for war. And it is because of that that he's giving the definition of the words, wherein the term Ashanti came from, Asante came from. Okay, listen now. This is wonderful.
Akans, who came here to form this group, became Asantes. They became Asantes because of the theme of their meeting here.
Because of the theme, sound like team, but theme. So the meeting had a theme, according to this tour guide.
The theme of the meeting here was because of war. The people gathered here because of war, because they wanted.
The people gathered because of war.
To come together to wage war against the intrastate. So whenever they wage war, their fellow Akans will say, this is the group which came together because of war. And because of war literally translate in Akan as Esa Nti. Esa means war. Asante means because of war. And so when they wage war, they will say Asante for, the group which came together because of war. And as they continue saying this, the phrase Esa Nti corrupted to be Asante. So the word Asante,
he even said corrupted. So Esa Nte. I hope I'm saying it correctly. Esa Nte. Not Asante. Esa Nte. And those, a lot of you who may be bilingual and trilingual, you could even see the pause. I mean, see it, Asa and Te, as if you go up a hill and come down. That's to show you how the right words, the right sound has an energy, has a power. So if we're that serious, it would be there now, Bobo Asa and Te. Yeah, if we go in, let's go all the way. So if you're going to say it's not Shanti, Ashanti. Well, no, it's not Ashanti. It's Asante. Well, no, it's not Asante. It's, let me get it again from this body. He has it right.
Say Asante for the group which came together because of war, and as they continue as Esa Nti. Esa means war.
Esa ente. Asante. Esa ente.
Asante means because of war, and so when they wage war, they will say Asante for the group which came together because of.
Because of what? Asante for. Asante for. Esa ente. The group that came together because of war. How I look at that now is this. Now, the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress is just that, the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress. Church of True Divine Salvation. Now, ones would argue that, you know, because of the name Ethiopia African Black, that, for example, then someone of another nation, for example, let's say Chinese, could not or should not be a part of the Congress. Now, that is the name of the Congress. Do you know, and that's not the discussion really, you know, I don't want no one to get sidetracked with that discussion there at the moment. We will have that discussion when the time is right, because the time, it will come, believe me. But what I'm saying is that that's one level. That's a Congress. That's the name of an organization as such. You know, if you want to say a legal name of an organization. But now the impression that I get from the term Bobo Shanti, just like Bobo, just like Asante, we are dealing with an ethnic group. Yes, I agree. Ethiopia, Africa, Black, it's all of that is ethnicity. I get that. I agree, you know, you're African, you're Black, and Ethiopia, International Congress. But again, one could argue the international aspect, because as I said, it's a name given to an organization. Some of the elder ones in this Congress will tell you, well, it was never Church of True Divine Salvation. It was just Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress. And they would give you the story, prominent members I'm talking of, would give you a story about some barrel coming in through the port, and because of some sort of tax, getting tax write-off because of you being a religious body or something of the sort. I mean, I have the particulars of the story, but I know I'm in the right arena. You know, I could tell you who told me so too, but we're not calling no names at the moment. That we say we got to ease off of that for the moment, you understand? So, but the point I'm making is, there are those that will tell you that the Church of Salvation got added to the name because of that specific reason. That's just history. It makes sense. You know, I don't know, I've never heard anyone that disputed that has a no of the situation, but I'm just showing you that to show you that that's the name of the Congress. The Ethiopia Africa Black International is the name of the Congress, its registered name, etc., etc. A Bobo Shanti. Bobo Shanti, to me, from my understanding, you could tell me if you think I'm wrong, from my understanding, is an ethnicity. So you could be, as a Black man, you could be a Roman Catholic, but you cannot be a Roman. So the term Bobo Shanti now is a very unique term. Me personally, I ain't not floating with the Bobo Ashanti stuff. I mean, hey, I ain't vexed with it, eh? You're all right, Ashanti, I good. Yeah, I good, man. I good, believe me, I good. But if we're gonna keep it, as they say, a buck or 100, any phrase, you know what I mean, full, Bobo Shanti. I think that's what the doctor prescribed. Let me show you what I mean. I think right now, we as a people, especially those of us that are the children of the captive in the Western world, we have become by now a new people. Yes, you may be able to trace your lineage. Most of us can't trace nothing back nowhere. That's for sure. You do a little DNA test and ancestry.com and the other one that they have and a few other ones and check yourself out. You're 3% this, you're 6% that, then you're 15% this one here. You find out a little Irish somewhere inside and a little Polish, you wonder where that come from. And then you're 50% of that, but then you're 35% of that. How might pass 100? Yeah? But anyway, you get the point. And that's how it is. I'm not mocking it. That's really how it is. I mean, I've seen some people's, report. It's really that. It's definitely never you are Igbo. No, it's never. No. You're usually a mixture of a lot of things. No, I'm not a genetic scientist. Who's to say that if you test someone in Igbo land, that they may not have a variety of things within them too. But to be honest, I don't think it would be like those of us who have come to this side, even if you don't seem to be mixed then as such. And I'm not speaking of, let's just keep the other like European, whatever you may have in you out of it. Just the African within you has been mixed. Just the African within you have been mixed. So the Bobo people, the Dogon people, the Bozo people. So if they had some level of discipline amongst themselves, meaning that they don't really marry within their tribes. Maybe they do it every now and again, but it's not something that is heavily practiced. I could just imagine that. It's not really heavily practiced. Maybe it happens amongst certain tribes definitely not for that. You go marry her, hey, man, you could make a whole love story about that one there. That's a Romeo and Juliet business. Pardon me. You know, one tribe that is some warring faction, because, they say the African tribes like to fight war. I wonder what World War I and World War II was. Those are not tribes. All right, they are. It's the same thing. Ethnic groups in Europe fighting one another with guns and bombs, and we don't deal like that for sure. But I'm just showing you that I could visualize the whole discipline amongst us as ethnic groups. That's why we stayed as ethnic groups. We didn't hate each other. We understood the purity of our ethnic group. Even as Black people, as we call ourselves today, we understood the purity of being a Bobo, or we understood the purity of being Bozo. We understood the purity of being Cookie. We understood the purity of being Asante. Asante. We understood the purity of being these different things. And we strived for that. So maybe if this prince wanted a princess from another tribe, maybe the council had to meet for weeks to discuss this and said, okay, we'll make it happen for whatever reason, and then it happened. But I don't see it as something that was common like that. And just my studying of history shows me that, and that is why you could still identify these tribes, pardon me. Are you getting the point? I hope you are. So when the enemy came with his lasso now, and he just threw his lasso in West Africa, remember, it wasn't a tribe as such, and all them story about who kidnapping Africans, soul Africans. I know that's what the house slaves is saying in the background. I could hear them. No, ignore them. When this enemy threw his lasso and he started to pull millions, trust me, within the millions, there were all those people that I just mentioned, people from the Dahomey Kingdom, you had Fanti, you had Igbo, you had Oya. Oya is a god. You had Hausa people. You had all, maybe they had Oya too. You had all kind of people that they're pulling there in that lasso, coming to the Western world. That's reality. So within that, that's why within 100, 200 years, whether we like it or not, we have become a new people. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Outside of the little white drops of blood that got in here and there because of rape and mistreatment and sexual abuse and bad decisions, because of that, outside of that, we have still remained, listen to me, we have still remained a pure African people. We may not be purely Igbo anymore, if that's where you came from. We may not be purely Bobo anymore, if that's where you came from. Because your mama, she was from Hausa land, and your father is an Ashanti. But then he's not even fully Ashanti, because it's his father that was an Ashanti, and his mother was an Igbo. While your mother's father was a Hausa, and his wife, which is her mother, she was a Dogon. And then it goes back up the line again, and it splits out more and more and more till we reach to the shore when we came off of the slave ship. And then imagine tomorrow, next week, and then the next 10 years from now. Even if you do not intermix with another quote unquote race, we here in the West, where I am at the recording of this, we have become a new people, straight. We have become a new people. Obviously, we're not all the same. For one reason or the other, you would have maybe a heavier percentage of some ethnicity, but I don't think in most of us, it could still be 100% pure. That's the point I'm making. You know, again, it's nothing to be ashamed of. In fact, I mean, it's something to understand and appreciate. A new people, almost like a new tribe. And it doesn't take you away from whatever you can discover. I can link myself back to a specific spot, but I know that's not the only spot. And I cherish that spot that I link myself back to. And I know the other spot, because that spot I'm linking myself back to, just that comes from my father, and that comes from his father's side. So what about my father's mother's side, and my mother and her father's side, and her mother's side, and her mother's mother's side, and her mother's father's side, and her mother's father's side, which is different than her mother's father's side, and just go down the line. So there are many spots to link back to. We are a new people. So what's our name? What's the name of our ethnic group? I honestly believe that is what the Bobo Shanti terminology is all about. So trying to jump back into Africa to find which tribe is the Bobo Shanti now. Oh, look, they're here, but it's not Ashanti. It's not Shanti, it's Ashanti. Okay, it's Ashanti, but it's not Bobo Ashanti. The Bobo is somebody else. The Bobo is up here, and the Ashanti is down there. But again, as I said, somebody came and kidnapped both the Bobo and the Ashanti, and some other people too, and brought them into one pool. So King Emmanuel will rise and call us now Bobo Shanti. And he did it in his own wisdom. And I'm sure there's more to it than that too. So that is why I will stick with the name. I wouldn't add Ashanti to it. Trust me. Because of such understanding of history And because I honestly believe it is an identity for a new ethnic group of Black people, those that Haile Selassie referred to. Listen, those that Haile Selassie referred to as creators. When he say Africa awaits its creators and creation. Holy Emmanuel, I, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Yeah, man, give thanks. Bobo Shanti, an ethnic group. So again, you know, and it's no disrespect to no one, you know. And this is why I say, you know, they take knowledge as an offense. I cannot see no one outside of the Black nation in general. It doesn't just have to be here in the West now. Black people all over is Bobo Shanti. But I cannot see outside of Bobo Shanti or outside of the Black nation, you can be a Bobo Shanti, you know, because I see it as an ethnicity. It's no disrespect to no one else's ethnicity at all. But you see, we so don't want to offend that we just lose it and say, oh yeah, it's all right, do anything. No, that's not how it goes. We're not offending no one, and who get offended, that means they have a problem. Because if you look at me and say, well, priest, I'm sorry, but you cannot be a German. Okay. Well, that's how it goes sometimes. Like, come on, I mean, yeah. Okay, it's all right. Yeah. So yeah, and in all respect, you would respect that and see the reality of that. But you see, everything has already gone haywire. And that is why I made a distinction even within the name of the Congress. You know what I mean? And then Rastafari as a people, that's another identity again, eh? Not necessarily an ethnicity, but a new nation. Rastafari, a new nation. Oh, this is wonderful. We need to take time to break these things down properly and stop just getting hot-headed and arguing over trivial things. Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Oh yeah, we definitely give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life. And just reminding you once again, of course, you know that we are definitely putting everything in order for the virtual edition of the spring equinox experience, keeping in mind, of course, you know, the whole aspect of the COVID-19. To be honest, in a few days, I may be making an announcement as it relates to the equinox. You know, of course, I know a few of you have already reached out to us saying you'd like to come to Antigua as it relates to the equinox. Yes, I mean the ports are still open and everything, you know, but as I keep saying, the whole situation looks very fluid. Things can just change at a moment, and things can just go on a different level, and we do not want to inconvenience no one. This is something that you have to make a down payment before you even come. We do not want to you know, to stress your visit in no form or fashion. You know, you come in here to Antigua, there's certain protocols that they're putting in place as far as tracking devices and putting things around your wrists and these different things. And in no way we want to inconvenience anyone. So it's much deeper than I'm even going into now. As I said, you know how it is wherever you are in the world. You know, some places are under a certain level of curfew. That's what's going on here too. So we because we have that love for our family, I know any one of you that will take your resources to catch a plane and spend money to come and spend time with me. it's because of a certain level of love and appreciation. I know that. I know that. It's not just because you want to go somewhere and you just want to see Green Castle Hill. I know you want to see Green Castle Hill, but you want to see the priest too, straight up, you know? So I already have you as family. Just the fact that you even want to do that, I see you as my family, you know, and I love you too much to bring you through any situation where you come and they say, oh, well, your temperature is a little high. You got to quarantine for 14 days. No, I couldn't even sleep if anything like that was to happen. So we are seriously, you know, considering, telling you, canceling it again. And when I say canceling it, I mean the literal actual events, you know, like you coming in and spending time with us and we doing all that we say we would do. But we definitely will be having it. But this is why we are stressing the virtual edition. You know, we are still going to have the double hike to Green Castle Hill. We will have the morning hike. Nothing that's going on around here can stop this. And this is a totally different thing. It just has to do with you coming into our borders. We don't want to discomfort you at all, at all, at all. And I know I don't have to go too deep. I'm not selling, don't get me wrong. I'm not like painting this gloomy picture of this specific nation that I'm in here or this island that I'm in. No, because that's how it is all over the world. I'm just showing you as family, you know, when you come to visit me, it's just cheers and happiness I want. You know, I come and we're there, we make a grand presentation and greet you at the airport. Everyone is joyous. We go to the place where you will be staying. You get your meal for the evening. Wake up in the morning, whatever the next move is, island tour, everything. You know, they're pushing their mask on your face. There's a lot of these things that doesn't go down well with me, and it is something that, as I said, in a few days I'll be making an official announcement. And to be honest, more than likely, we may be actually calling off for a second time the spring equinox, at least the actual with you coming in. But it's still on. This year it's still on. And we're doing it virtually. So you can still be there, but you ain't gonna be there. You can stay where you are right there, where you are now, and be with us on Green Castle Hill, be with us amongst the megaliths, pardon me, you know, be with us for the morning sunrise, be with us for the evening sunset. Yeah, man, it's definitely going to be wonderful. We still are going to have wonderful speakers come. It's going to be a joyous, festive event. We're still going to do the marijuana tour on the 18th, where we are going to be taking you through the vast land of strictly cannabis, all different grades. You'll be meeting the planters. You'll be meeting some of the elders within the faith of Rastafari, which will be giving you a lecture on the history of Rastafari in Antigua. I mean, the whole thing will be joyous and wonderful. It will be 3 days. Again, it will be the 18th, it will be the 19th, and it will be the 21st day of March. You know, on the 19th, again, that is the morning rise. So you got to wake up early. Well, depending on where you are in the world, you may be up already, you know, or you may be, yeah, depending on where you are, you may be up already waiting for me. But we'll be going up to the hill about 6 in the morning so we can see when the sun is getting bright, and you'll see the rocks glittering in the morning dew. And you're going to get a wonderful lecture from myself. You're going to get a wonderful presentation from Brother Rastre. And then on the Sunday now, that's the afternoon hike. We're going to have a much bigger crowd with us. I mean, straight up, we're going to have a much bigger crowd. We're going to be Naya Bingi drumming. That is where you're going to have some special lecturers now, because remember, I lectured for you on the Friday morning. So I'm still going to say something on the Sunday afternoon, but we're going to have some of our historians, our griots, all of these ones will be there, and they will be giving you a wonderful presentation on the Sunday with the sunset hike. That is going to be some good stuff, you know. And as I said, the marijuana tour will be on Thursday, the 18th. So what you have to do is to contact me. You don't know how it is. Remember the full package now, all everything that I just explained. 3 whole days, 2 hours, 2 hours, and 3 hours. Wow. The whole package is just $120. That's United States currency. But if you reserve your spot before the 21st day of February, you would get the package for only $85. You hear me? And if you miss that date and you reserve it for the 1st of March, you would get it for $100, which is still a good so-called deal. In fact, even if you miss the 1st of March and you have to get it for $120, I don't see that it's still not a good deal straight up. And it's something that you'll definitely full joy. You know, this is something that the whole family can make it a date. They sit in, get your snacks and everything on your big screen. And I'm talking about quality presentation. This ain't no fuzzy wuzzy and cut out and cut back in and at least I'm talking about those that are managing the production. I'm talking about Brother Zaza Yellow and Visual Eyes Media, you know, and to be honest, just bringing you behind the scene. We are working hard with these internet companies to make sure that they are on their tip top. Yeah. So definitely we're putting the extra into it because our thing is shine. Brother Yellow thing is, I mean, 100%, and he's been in the game for decades. So not nearly 2 decades, no, decades, 2+. So we're thankful for that. All right, it was a wonderful moment that we spent this evening. Very joyful. Remember again, if you definitely want to contribute to the essay competition, if you want to send a gift, mail it down to us. Whatever the case is, you contact us saying we're precise27@gmail.com, or you could just make that payment using our Cash App, Atonra 2723. Listen, if you know your Bible and you do not know your history, am I ready to go? Or we're going to listen to some more Ras Extra and Bonalico Chalice. Still a new year. Yeah. The knowledge of your Bible will become a mystery. Hold on, don't go nowhere. Let me just find my brethren. Ras Extra here, Ras Extra. Ras Extra say he was holding some banners. He was holding the banner, so he didn't get to film too much this time around. Well, I must say, Bobo Extra, that's some good stuff. Enough respect to that. Where you say, Prince? That's really some good stuff, eh? Yeah, man. He said he was holding the banners. So we're thankful for that. That he's getting the training within the order. But man, you need to get somebody else to hold the camera, King, because that is important words. This is courtesy of Sky Eye Media. He's still, although he was in the kitchen doing his kitchen work, that's Brother Jabods, even though he was in the kitchen doing his kitchen work, even though he was holding the banner. I see the man in the guard house holding the guard 24 hours. He said, Royal Guard. Yeah, man, well, I mean, King, it looks like you need a protege now so that somebody can do the videoing, because thousands of people depending on the eye right now, my Lord, for these professional clips that you put together for our celebration. But again, I'm thankful that the eye is being built, you know? Yeah, man. Holy man, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Hey, we say the realized part yet? Anyone there? Okay. How'd that go again? Oh yeah, it takes some realize to realize the realize that are amongst us. Hey, give thanks. Holy Emmanuel eyes, Selassie, Jah. So check out the channel, Sky Eye Media. They have to pull out all them footage. hold on, let me say that, man. Yeah, man. You see now, me personally, you see when you're on guard, when you're a royal guard, all them dancing and so, and I'm saying this even to the young ones. Okay, you see, these things is the things that people, when you talk about these things, oh, you're too serious and this and that and rah, rah, rah. And younger ones come into the thing and they don't know the original way. When you hold the royal guard, man, not that you can't keep a joy, of course, it's up to you. But when I hold guard, man, sometimes I long to hold guard. I say, boy, when you hold guard, it's serious, you know, is you have the whole congregation in your hand. You know. If you are, they're not disrespecting the brethren here, man. But if you check out the other videos, man dancing so much, the man turban come off his head in the video. I ain't lying on him. No, I don't even know who the brother is. But his turban come off till you have to hitch the banner on the fence and tie his turban. That's the royal guard in the East Gate. So if the enemy there and the enemy say, hey, look, he off guard now. He wrapping his turban. Let's attack. You think it's a joke thing going on here? So when man holding guard, man supposed to be vigilant. Yeah, man. I mean, that could be the sweetest bingy. Man's supposed to be vigilant. You're supposed to can see what's in front of you. Sometimes man dancing and people pass them. My Lord. Oh, true, Empress, let's say, you know, yeah, man. And they gone back dancing. No! You're the God. But anyway, I do see that. Yeah, give thanks, we still celebrating it. Thanks to the new year. Just 7 people there, 3 musicians, 3 priests, and the guard. Like a whole army coming to kill Satan.